In a small, quiet town at the foot of mountains covered in thick vegetation, there lived a man named Tenzin. He was known as a wise philosopher and teacher, famous for his humble and unconventional way of imparting profound teachings. Despite his reputation, Tenzin did not consider himself special, but simply a man in search of truth. He had been through many difficult times in his life, times that had led him to discover the essential truths that he sought to share with anyone who would listen. If you too want to discover these profound truths, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future content. One day, Tenzin received an invitation to give a lecture at a nearby elementary school. It was a simple place, frequented by lively and curious children. Tenzin gladly accepted, knowing that every opportunity to speak to young people was an opportunity to plant the seeds of awareness. Have you ever shared a life lesson with someone? Write it in the comments. The morning of the lecture, Tenzin walked to the school with a large glass jar under his arm, which seemed to immediately attract the attention of anyone who saw it. As he entered the classroom, the children looked at him with curious eyes. It was clear that today would be different from the others, and Tenzin, in his calm and gentle way, began to set up the glass jar on the table in front of them. Without saying a word, he took several large stones, each about the size of a fist, from a bag and carefully began to arrange them in the jar. The stones quickly took up space until it was completely filled. "Is this jar full?" Tenzin asked, turning to the children with a serene smile. The little ones nodded confidently. "Yes, master, there's no more room," they answered in unison. Tenzin watched them for a moment. Then, without saying anything, he picked up a bag of pebbles and began pouring them into the jar, shaking it lightly. The pebbles settled in between the empty spaces left by the large stones. "Is it full now?" he asked again. The children, surprised by the new demonstration, hesitated. Some began to understand, but many nodded once more. Tenzin smiled, then picked up another bag, this time filled with fine sand. He poured the sand into the jar, letting it squeeze between the pebbles and stones, filling every available space. Sometimes, what seems complete can be enriched with subtle details. Want to discover more profound analogies? Don't miss our next videos. Now, even the most attentive children were confused. Tenzin, with his calm smile, asked once more, "Is it full now?" This time the class responded with thoughtful silence. Finally, the teacher took a pitcher of water and slowly poured it into the jar, saturating the sand. Only then did he declare, "Now, the jar is full." The children remained silent, looking at the jar filled with water, sand, pebbles, and stones. Then, with his trademark calm, Tenzin began to explain. "This jar represents your life," he said in a soft, deep voice. "The biggest stones are the fundamental things, your family, your health, your friends, your dreams. They are those parts of your existence that, if everything else were to be missing, would still make your life full of meaning." The children listened attentively as the teacher continued. "The pebbles are the other important things, such as your home, your job, your responsibilities. They are necessary, of course, but they should not take up all your inner space. Finally, the sand represents the little things, the daily trivialities, the tasks that often consume us, but which, in the end, are not what define our existence. Think for a moment. What are the most important stones in your life? Share them in the comments." Tenzin paused, looking at the children's intent faces, then continued, "If you fill the jar with sand first, there won't be room for the stones. The same goes for life. If you devote all your energy to small things, there won't be room left for what's truly important." A murmur spread among the children, who seemed to absorb every word. One of them, a little girl named May, raised her hand shyly. "And water, master?" she asked. "What does it represent?" Tenzin turned to her with a warm smile. "Water, May, is what gives life to everything else. It represents those moments of joy, relaxation, connection with others. Even when life seems full to the brim, there is always room for a cup of tea with a friend, a moment of laughter, or a moment of pure joy. These are the unexpected gifts of life, the ones we often overlook, but which fill our spirits with serenity. Want to learn more about how to enrich your life with joy and connection? Sign up for more stories like this. May nodded thoughtfully, while the rest of the class watched intently. But there was another thought that Tenzin hadn't shared yet. His smile grew more serious, but no less gentle. You know, children, I learned this lesson myself not long ago. Like many of you, I found myself filling my jar with sand and pebbles, forgetting the more important stones. I lost a lot along the way, but this knowledge helped me regain my balance. One of the children, a boy named Liang, looked at him intently. "Master, how is it that you always remember to put the stones first?" he asked in a voice mature for his age. Tenzin nodded slowly. "It's not easy, Liang, but the secret is in awareness. Every day you have to stop and ask yourself, what are the stones in my life? Am I giving them the space they deserve? And when you feel like you're being overwhelmed by the sand, remember to step back and recalibrate your priorities. It's essential to do a daily check of your priorities. Try it and share in the comments how you feel." Tenzin looked for a moment at the children's faces, who seemed to understand, in part, the depth of the message. Life, my young friends, is short. We don't have room for everything, and we shouldn't fill it just for the sake of it. We should fill it with what truly makes us happy, with what nourishes our spirit. There was a thoughtful silence. Each child seemed to be thinking about their own lives, however short, and the meaning of the teacher's words. Finally, Tenzin concluded, "Always remember to prioritize your stones, your family, your health, your dreams. These are the pillars that support your existence, and as you do this, never forget to leave room for water, because it is in the unexpected moments that true joy lies. Remember, happiness is often found in the little things. Don't forget to subscribe to continue exploring life with new perspectives." The class was silent for a while, then slowly, one by one, the children began to smile. They had been taught a lesson that, though simple, would stay with each of them for the rest of their lives. Tenzin greeted them with a respectful bow, leaving the room with the jar still in his hand, but with the knowledge that the seeds of awareness had been planted. As he walked home, Tenzin stopped for a moment under a large tree. He felt the wind blowing through the leaves and smiled. He too had learned to make room for water. And in that moment, he understood even more the beauty of simplicity. Life was full, but full of the right things.